What a beautiful morning! The maintenance on the third anniversary is going to end. Barcello is going to release. What is it, Adis? You're not releasing a video for Barcello? But then Twix can do the unit summary you do for new units. Wait a minute. If I take Shift Rule and Summary, and with a little bit of Photoshop, wait, let me... And there! You know what? Let me message Amber to see if I made any mistakes. Hey, can you proofread something real quick? Sure. If you want, Sammy, I could totally split together a unit release trailer. Exactly how to do it. Yes! Hello guys, Sammy here. Welcome to the Barcello video behind the scenes. In this video, we'll show you the process behind the video and how we managed to do it. It all began as a silly idea. I really thought that Iris was going to release the Barcello introducer video eventually, but as months passed and nothing came, Amber and I began to work. The first assets were already made. The Barcello summary I made could be resized easily to fit the requirements for the video. I separated the three main sections: traits, abilities, and skills. As for the rest, well, we needed to start out somewhere. A video with no visuals is no fun, is it? So Amber recorded Barcello using his skills, while I recorded the story scenes where Barcello was present for footage to do the section at the beginning of the video. This was done by removing the background music and leaving everything else in. Speaking of background music, we chose two tracks for the video: Roland's Castle theme and of course the Battle Against Limits, aka the Arc 2 boss music, used in Ardennes and Leona's video. To record the music, I went to a stage and recorded it. But then Amber reminded me that the jukebox was a thing, and I re-recorded the music using that instead. Yep, I totally forgot. I legit forgot that the jukebox was a thing. To record the voice lines that we were going to spread out on the video, I left only the voices active, went to Barcello's unit, and recorded the ones I thought we could use for the video. I also recorded Barcello's animation and the arc animation, more on that in the arc salt section. But that was only the beginning of what would become a tedious and arduous job. After recording the easy stuff and reusing the assets I've already made, it was time for showdown. The first thing I did was setting up a Google Drive folder so Amber could get access to the files as I made the assets. The Google Drive folder had all sorts of files, from animations to voice lines to cutscenes, so I set sort of a prefix system to have some organization. A for animation, BGM for background music, EMG for images, NQ for main quest cutscenes, SQ for Barcello side quest cutscenes, and BL for voice lines. Once that was settled, it was time to do the assets. Let's tackle the visuals as they appear in the video. First, there is the thumbnail. For the thumbnail, I took inspiration in Alice's thumbnail. Since she's a recent character, to only have her name in the thumbnail, I could easily do it with written Barcello's name and his voice actor in gold and yellow, set in a purple shadow, and of course, a black outline. There was also this kind of glow below the name, so I easily made that as well. Also, I implemented the copyright, both creating Aries and of course, us. It gives it a more professional feel, you know? In the video, for the flashback session, I had to do an overlay. For the overlay, I already had the PC background that the official Last Cloudia site provides, so I split that into two to make Reiko on one side and Kyle in the other, making the middle transparent. Set some black lines on both sides and then put a black overlay on top of everything and rest in the middle and lowering the transparency so the image below looks darker. Ta-da! We have an overlay! For the name overlay, I screenshotted Lens's name overlay and redid it with this. White name and voice actor with red glow and a black box behind, which I had to tilt. For the fade effect, I just grabbed a faded eraser and applied that. I'm really proud of this visual because it looks like the real thing. The bar used to separate the unit portrait from the unit video is something I had to make. It's just a white line with a yellow to orange to red guiding shadow. For the arc itself, I only had to change the trait, erase the arc effect section, and change the skills. All of these were made using Link's Goldmine as reference, so I didn't mess anything up. Instead of new arc, I changed that to featured arc. And below, there's a line with a gradient, just like the ones in the skills section. I already had that, so it was no problem. For the EAR, it was more complicated. I had to screenshot the EAR and put it in the black box, change the type, change the rarity, change the stats, and of course the EAR name. There was also something else that I had to do for this section of the video, a visual that brought hell to both Amber and myself. Well, more on that later. For the end card or the ending, I used Lindsay's end card, changed the little message at the bottom, and then I was done. Of course, I also added the respective copyright to this one. I wanted the new unit word to pop up. So I grabbed the gold and yellow using the name of the thumbnail and changed the color of those words to that color. Hi, it's me, Amber, and I suppose it's semi-weird in the script, eh? Anyway, I get to do a fun thing here and explain the editing process, or as I call it, the trashing of my video editor process. I edited the video in OpenShot, which is a free video editing software, and it works fine given that it is free. Since my main videos have minimal editing, it works fantastic. And it lets you modify video quality, FPS, and format, which a lot of other free softwares don't let you do. However, on the actual editing side, the stuff they give you is minimal and not entirely functional. I primarily use it to splice videos or cut off unneeded parts, but they give you basic control over audio, creation of text assets, and really basic frustrating transitions. I'll talk about what I did to make it more authentic to the real unit trailers, but first, let me vent, lol. So, outside of what I'll talk about in the art section of the video, there are three main points of frustration with the software. One, it lets you move video assets wherever you want them on the screen in the video, and the straight shrinks those asset sizes, but it lags while dragging those assets across the screen, and you need to select that assets as the starting frame of the selected assets, or else it'll be dragged slowly to the point you select at whatever frame you are on. This isn't an issue, more so than an inconvenience, and I had to edit over a few parts different times because I forgot which frame I was at when I moved the assets over. Second point of frustration, the transitions. For some reason, they've elected to have a loop transition or elude the transition once and then reserve it. The point of this is to exit one scene in another way and transition into the other in the same way. The issue is that this doesn't give you free ability not to use it that way. A scene, you can just have a scene transition to be like a flash. It has to be a flash out and then a flash in. So to modify it, you correctly have to modify size, spacing, etc. It's really frustrating too because you can modify a transition at any meaningful way other than reserving it. Plus, your selection for transitions is missing so many good basic ones instead of having a bunch of salty transitions. I wanted to do a full screen white flash like it does for several points in editing, but no, the best I could do was a circle fade in out. So I couldn't edit transitions as well as I wanted to, but I did my best with what I had. Last point of frustration, the audio, especially how they handle fade in out. You can modify the whole part of the audio, the starting part or the end, but if you try to have the musically gradually open or end, it makes the volume of the clip default to 100%. And you can only have it either be at a change audio level for the whole clip or have those fading outs. And because some of the audio clips were super loud, it did not help at all. It sucked, frankly. Anyway, as limited as the software is, and as much as I miss Adobe Premiere, I still had a lot of fun. After all, I got really do a deep dive into what a unit trailer was composed of, and really got a lot of respect for the video editors. They use a lot of different editing tricks to convey emotion and dynamic movement that it wasn't able to replicate here, and especially the recent trailers have used creative effects for transitions. So, you wanna know the breakdown for a unit trailer? Well, I use the editing video as my main guide, which is 141 long video. It's 25 seconds of backstory, 5 seconds on the main unit art intro voice line, 19 seconds on the ability special usage, 6 seconds on the unit traits side art, 8 seconds of the ability side art, 8 seconds of the skills background art, 10 of the arc skills, 10 of the AAR, and then 8 of the voice lines outro end screen. That seems like a lot to point out, so let me break it down. The backstory sections depends on every individual video and what they want to show. Units releasing with a new story, such as Andina Leona, tend to focus more on that than the unit's individual backstory, because those units don't tend to get an event. Most units, however, focus on their event or backstory, and the backstory sections either starts with the main video song, all music from the Ost, or leads with ambience or a side song depending on the individual video. This is dependent upon the music timing. See, a lot of the songs have a specific point when it's important to end on the transition into the full unit art to get that dynamic visuals in line with the audio feel, and some songs have different points for that. The reason that the main Oz, the season 2 boss battle theme, plays at 16 seconds in our video is because there's an 11-second timing until it hits the good transition node. The songs I used were Roland's Castle and Battle Against Limits. The former being the melancholy songs I used at the beginning with a perfect natural fade out point at the 16 seconds to lead into the correct timing. I also used some stock film grain effects during Roland's Castle. As for the clips, well, I need to convey the ruminations of the voice line I pick. This villain in specific has Barcello ruminating of the past and coming to terms with his own weakness, all while loving to grow stronger and help those who helped him come as far as he did. I especially edited the individual voice line sections to match up the scene transitions in the backstory section. The pause or breaks in the scene fading into the next scene because it just fit. As for the chosen clips, well, I used Kyle's backstory rumination section to get that film rumination to convey a scene in the past before transitioning into the present, when he gets the determination to move forward. His timing in calling out the bar after he beat Barcello's band, the time in the sewers when he followed them, his heroic entrance in the stairways, his forced control to attack Leona, and his determination to move forward. All key moments. Well, maybe except for the sewers, but it's a part of his journey too. The one in sync with the point of the voice lines. I'm most proud of this section. The unit art has a transition in a dynamic way that I mentioned I couldn't convey. They do some kind of zoom effect to make the art pop out at you while making the voice actor box zoom across the screen before landing into a sort of after fade effect of the text. I recommend slowing down this section to notice that and how it conveys motion. For this, I couldn't do that, unfortunately. Would have been a pain for the half effect. However, I have my little circle audible effect. The timing for my bit was 9 seconds-ish in tune with the voice line. The ability section has the unit main art with the voice actor box moved to the left half of the screen, still animated with a center voiceover in it and ability usage, of which they do a partially zoomed in screen section, just enough to show the hit counts and unit art, but not enough to show the actual skills being clicked since, well, immersion makes it to an extent, I suppose, and the recordings are done in a phone screen style, so purposely squinting it, and this way sort of stops the illusion from breaking. Plus, if they record on Steam, you got your most to worry about. This section I definitely think I could improve on. As pointed out, there was a minor lag near the end which had the camera perspective zoom back into the main character. I should have cut off that zoom and just transitioned more naturally, and I could have slightly improved the zoom, but yeah, it's still alright for what it is. The unit trait and ability sections has the same side art, with the voice actor box removed. Nothing at all complex here, though I love how it came together with the voice lines, as they always feel a couple of them between the unit kit breakdown and arc breakdown. Timing could be improved. I kept the voice lines into that rigid specific timing, so some leak over into the next section instead of ending as the section transitions, but it's not a big deal at all. Unit skill tree stops transitions to the main art being in the background behind the UI, although in the videos it's usually bigger and in line with the full art. My full art was very evident as being taken on a phone loan instead of taking a whole background. And what I forgot to mention is that they have access to the raw animation files, as in the animated assets with the transparent backgrounds, instead of also recording units animations in game, which we'll discuss in the arc sections. Anyhow, nothing crazy down here other than matching to the original style. These end sections are out to 7 skill for how good they look. Arc section was pain. We'll get to that below. And in the out of video section, it's just a little end screen with a character either saying let's go or something along those lines, or saying last Cloudia. It's simple, but I forgot to remove the transition effect I have for ending text in my bed. So, wait silly. Let's take it as a creative choice, yeah? Anyway, I hope that gave you some insight. So, Sammy here. I just wanted to add one more thing to this section. First of all, I was the one choosing Barcelo's voice lines for the video. Except the voices at the beginning and the backstory, that was chosen by Amber. When Amber sent over the translated voice lines, which she did using bit.io, a bunch of translators, some writers' liberties, and my anime water Japanese knowledge, I immediately recognized voiceline 18 as the one used when you get him as a unit, so that one had to go inside the video. For the rest of them, I sorted them around based on how long they were, so they could fit into the different video sections as well as their meaning. In the end, I settled on voiceline 25, 19, and 20 in that order for the unit showcase, and voiceline 28 for the arc showcase. The reason I chose them? Well, 25 and 29 say a lot about Barcello. How he always takes strikes for his stuff, and how he doesn't want people to perceive him as a weird person. Shows a lot of personality. Then, Voicelines 20, with tasks if we, the player, are interested in him. And finally, Voicelines 29, answering us with him talking about his position as a member of the Selfordo family. So, for arcs, we went through 3 main ideas. First, Raymond Ruins, because it relates to his story. Second is Kraken arc, because it provides both counter and break, and he was related with a Kraken boss. And third, Mirror Armor Missile, because it has both counter and machine stuff. We will meet Missile in the end because it matched him more in terms of arc usage. Plus, he's a free unit, so an SR sorta makes sense. Even if the early characters have unofficial arcs that are theirs of different rarities, like Die with Ramon Ruins or Blood Rose with Bloody Moon. So, time for Told. More video editing or refreshing. So, OpenShot has a major issue with gifts. Some just don't function. And when you start modifying GIF files to remove the backgrounds like I needed to, I ended up screwing over the actual animation. I needed to get rid of the arc background to blend it with the inner background, else it will look way out of place. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get the background removed and the arc animation to stay at the same time. So what did I do? Well, I talked to Sammy and we worked out that making an additional back overlay around the shape of the actual arc to then put over the section in the video to mask over the actual background will be what we'll need to get it to work. So we did that. Lol, it ended up looking fine, and honestly, better than the background removing bots, but that was quite an arduous process. Sammy also had to make a few last minute process because he forgot them, which he can feel free to talk about. Anyways, that is for my BTS section. Thanks for listening. As for me, As for me, holy fucking shit! Figuring out what Amber wanted for the arc sessions was a nightmare. I was a little slow on that one, not gonna lie. For the fake background, I grabbed the screenshot that Amber did the fake black background in another layer in Photoshop with lots of care, and then hit the screenshot, and boom! Transparent, black, fake background. So all done, right? Wrong! Because I already did the arc visuals so that the feature arc and the arc name didn't change positions, and in that mayhem, the EAR went poof, gone. So when Amber sends me the final product, the AAR name isn't there, and I begin to panic. Were we really going to release the video with such a huge terror? No, I wasn't gonna let that happen. So I downloaded the video, grabbed Photoshop, did a separate image with just the EAR name in the right position, opened my video editor, put that image on top of the video, making sure it appears and disappears at the right timing, posted that on the YouTube, and later downloaded the video in the Google Drive, and then it was over. Thank Luke says. Amber and me live in different time zones, and I could do all of that while Amber was still in Dreamland. With the video finished, there was only one thing left to do. To give the video more of a professional feel to it, I wanted to do it like it is. So, a day before releasing the video, I make a teaser image grabbing one of the frames of the Barcello in-game animation, remove the background with Photoshop, grabbing the background of him when you get him as a unit, and placing that as background. I had to play a little bit with it, but in the end, I fooled at least 2 people with it. I also placed the copyright to give it that professional look, and I was done with the teaser pic. Then it came time to post the teaser. Taking reference in 80s posting Unity teasers, I posted a little message with a few emojis to hype people up. I also posted it on Reddit to give it more visibility. This image and tweet were posted when we were still working on the video. Some of the visuals weren't even finished. To be honest, I kinda felt like an intern working last minute on the video. And that's why the arc staff frustrated both Amber and me so much. Yes, we could have delayed the video for when it was ready, but both of brains work on ADHD hyperfocus, so yeah, maybe we'll know better in the future. Or maybe not. Lastly, it was time for the video. Again, taking inspiration in the 80s, I posted a tweet talking about Barcello, linking the video and tagging the official Last Cloudia Twitter account. And well, the Last Cloudia Twitter account liked the tweet. Sweet! For the video, we decided to do a premiere for it, to hype people up. Amber and I tried to make the description look as professional as we could, copying it from other units intro video description, but changing some things to suit Barcello. We included the how to insane Barcello method, and of course, credits ourselves. And with the video posted, everything was over. Or was it? Want an idea of what a Barcello video intro could look like? It's great to see your passion for Last Cloudia. This is a comment posted by the official Last Cloudia YouTube account in a Barcello trailer video. It started as a love project to both Last Cloudia and Barcello, and of course I dreamed about it reaching it somehow, but this comment, the single comment, it made my day. I have personally been praised by 80s stuff before, both by Berlin and Kid, and I feel like if I'm gonna leave something behind when I leave this world, this is it. This is my legacy. This is the lore legend. Thank you. Really, thank you a lot. Thanks for reading my story summaries. Thanks for watching Amber's videos. Thank you all for the love and support you've given to the Barcello trailer video. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll make more stuff like this. Neither of us are close to that possibility. See you later, and thank you for watching this video.